now. Okay, so we just took our 5-minute break. Let's get back into it. So we've just derived a difference of squares formula and a sum of squares formula. But there are also, and there's another pair of formulas that I'm just going to give to you because deriving is going to be a pain in the neck and it would take a whole other class period. I don't want to do that. So there's the difference of squares, sum and difference of squares formulas. These are the formulas for the sums and differences of cubes. Which you may have seen in Algebra 2. So, the difference of cubes formula goes, if we have a cubed minus b cubed, so really, we're using variables for that first one, so let's go ahead and call it z minus a. Oh, now I'll super data. So we have a cubed minus b cubed. That is going to be equal to a minus b times a squared plus ab plus b squared. Fair enough? And which formula do you think this is? Do you think this is the sum or the difference of cubes? Difference of cubes, how can you tell? Well, we have a cube minus another cube, so it's literally a difference of cubes. Okay then? There's also the sum of cubes formula, which tells you how you can factor something that goes a cubed plus b cubed. So again, for us, we're often going to be using z's for a, which goes a plus b times a squared minus ab plus b squared. Okay. So really quick, raise your hands if you've seen these formulas before, if they're familiar to you. Okay, I see some hands up. Cool. Okay, so go ahead and turn the page to S4. In Lesson 1, Module 3, now we're on S4. So let's go ahead and complete exercise 11 with the help of these formulas that we have here. So we have a bunch of things that we need to factor out. Okay? So for this first one, we have x cubed minus 1 equals 0. And what do we need to do with this x cubed minus 1 equals 0? What are we trying to find? We're trying to find the what? We're trying to factor it and then state the solutions. Okay. So which formula are we going to use? Is this a difference of squares, sum of squares, difference of cubes, or sum of cubes? This is a difference of cubes, but wait, what's b for this one? Well, I don't see a cube here, so what times itself 3 times is 1? Well, 1. 1 times 1 times 1 is 1. So for this one, for this thing, let's go ahead and factor it. So I guess we can just go ahead and write out the equation and just plug in the gaps. So that's a minus b times a squared plus ab plus b squared. Okay. So what can I replace all these a's with? And what can I replace all these b's with? 1. So this thing was actually going to factor out into, let's see, x minus 1 times x squared plus x times what? 1. X times 1. What is x times 1? X. Plus, what's plus b squared? What's b again?
1.
1, and what's 1 squared?
1.
1. Okay. Is this factored as far as it can go? Can we do anything else here? Oh, and this whole thing. What does this whole thing equal?
0.
You know, so this thing here, this sure looks like a linear factor, but what kind of creature is this second part here? What is this? X squared plus x plus 1? That is it's another quadratic. We can factor again. Okay, so what can we do? How can we figure this out? What's going to go right here, you think? X? Okay, ooh, so we need factors of 1 that add up to produce 1. Ooh. This doesn't look like it's going to be easy to do by hand. Is there some formula we can use that can factor any quadratic? What was that? There's a formula out there that can factor any quadratic. Right? Remember that? What's it called? The quadratic formula. Imagine that. Okay, so it looks like this one ain't going to be so easy to fit. So we got it this far, but we're not there yet. So we need to somehow factor this thing. Now, fortunately, we have a formula that can quadratic any factor, that can factor any quadratic, the quadratic formula. So how does the quadratic formula go? The quadratic formula goes x equals negative b
plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a.
2a, yeah. It's a little big and ugly, isn't it? I also want you to memorize it. I memorize it, so by gosh, you're going to memorize it too. I'm not going to be alone in this. Okay, so for this thing that we're factoring here, what's a? For this one, what's a?
1.
A is 1. Okay. So a is 1. What's b?
1.
And what's c?
1.
1. 1, 1, and 1. So we'll do this formula here. This is going to give us negative 1 plus or minus the square root of 1 squared minus 4 times 1 times 1 all over 2 times 1. What's 1 squared?
1.
What's 4 times 1 times 1?
Negative 1.
Or, yeah, negative sign there. What's 1 minus 4?
Negative 3.
Okay, and down the bottom, what's 2 times 1? Okay, so what's the square root of negative 3? Square root of a negative? What can we use to find the square root of a negative? Huh? Really quick, what's the square root of negative 1? Square root of negative 1 is I. So I could split this up into 3 times negative 1. Split this into 2 square roots. Do I know the square root of 3? You might, I don't. What's the square root of negative 1? I. Make sense? So, let's go ahead and write this as a complex number. So negative 1 over 2 plus or minus square root of 3i over 2. There's our two solutions. Or those are the two solutions of this guy, which means when we plug it in, what are we going to have? X minus 1 over 2, 1 over 2 plus square root of 3i over 2. Oh, that's ugly. And we also have, because of that, no, we're going to, it's because of this plus or minus, our other one is going to be the same thing but with a minus sign. Make sense? Okay? So x minus 1/2 minus square root of 3i over 2. Blech. X minus 1 still out here. And what does this whole mess equal? 0. So what are our solutions? Well, I see one solution here. It's
1.
And we already found our other solutions over there. So what are our other solutions? Well, we also have negative 1/2 plus square root of 3i over 2. What's our other one? Square root of 3i over 2. Ugh. So, started nice and simple. It ended not so much. So, intriguing. Okay, so you guys think you can handle number 2 then? It's the same basic idea as this, just different numbers plugged in. So you're still going to need to, so you'll need to figure out which equation to use here, split it up, and if you have a quadratic, you'll have to further factor that, possibly with the quadratic formula. Should be a party. Sound good? I see a lot of terrified faces out there. And even more faces going, you crazy, Mr. LaRue. You crazy. Well, this will be your exit ticket. See if you can solve B for me. Just to help you get started really quick. For this one, we have x cubed plus 8 equals 0. So is this a sum of squares or a sum of cubes, difference of cubes, sum of squares, difference of squares? What's this? Sum of cubes. So you're going to want to start by writing it in this form, which means what is A going to be? And what is B going to be? 2. You should be able to figure out one of the solutions just from doing that. You'll need to figure out the other solution by factoring a quadratic using the formula. Won't be quite as ugly as part A. Didn't really have a chance to get on the boards today. Well, that's what Monday was for. Tomorrow was for. I don't know what we'll do tomorrow. you're done, call me over. If you're stuck, call me over. What's that? Yeah, well, because this is 2 cubed, right? So all it is, so 2 cubed is the same thing, so 2 cubed is 4, so now you can just use the quadratic formula to factor that. Quadratic formula, A will be 1, B will be -2, and A will be 4. 4 minus, that's going to be, that's 4 minus 16, -12. Oh, polynomials. Yes. C. Well, we're looking at this is the quadratic of the factoring. Yeah. So A will be, B will be, and C will be 4. We might need to practice for the quadratic equation. Quadratic formula. Exactly. The C, okay, so what do we use in the quadratic formula? We're using a factor for this part here. This part here doesn't need that's good. But I want to factor this so we can figure out what the solution is. Make sense? So this one, just if we're just looking at this, what's A? What's B? What's C? Yes, miss? Well, it's, yeah, because we're finding some negative. Minus -2 is a positive 2. So yeah. Okay. So we've got square root of 6. You saying that, well, you saying that 12 times 12 or 6 times 6 is 12? So, this one thing, yeah. So, oh no, never mind, you said it. Okay. Now we could in fact simplify this a little further. We can simplify square root of 12 to square root of 3 times square root of 4. Which is 2. Square root of 3 times 2 is over 2. So these is canceled. But you got there. That's still correct list. So that's it. X squared minus 2. So it'd be
Oh, it's 1? Okay, well, I just cancel it out. So it's 1. And then 1 minus square root of 12 over 2.
You got 2 square root of 3? What's it all over?
Yeah, that's what I got right here. But oh, no, that's right. So you keep it?
Okay, you missed one thing.
Okay, yeah, but yeah, I got that.
Yeah.
Negative?
No, so that's fine.
Okay, yeah.
Negative 2 will give us a positive 2. But, let's see, 2 divided by 2 is 9. 1. Then this whole mess here simplifies out to 2 root 2 or 2 root 3. Okay, so this is exactly correct. You just made a mistake. 2 divided by 2 is 1. So we have 1 plus or minus. Then the square root is negative 12. What's the square root of a negative? Square root 12 over 2. Fair enough? Now we can actually simplify that square root of 12 to give us 2 over 2, right? Which causes 2 to cancel out, so we know where 1 is plus or minus. Square root. Mathematics. How can something that's always right feel so wrong?
I don't know.
Where this? Oh, this should be a 1. Oops. Which one's that? 2. Those are ones.
But like, how do you make it that? That's so like all
Okay, show me what you got as you put your stuff away. Let's see what you got. Anyway, well, folks. Just flash me as you put your stuff away.
Nicolette Brady, please come for office.
Let's see,
I keep turning my
what's with that?
Oh, wait.
This is 2 cubes, so we write it using a different.
Oh.
Okay, so looks like it is. When we rewrite it into the difference of sum of cubes formula, we rewrite it as 2. 8 is 2 cubes. No, that's right. That's exactly right. Just as it was except for one single thing, this is a negative 12, which means oh, there's your square root of -1, which is would be the 2 over 2 cancel out to give us 1. So 1 plus or minus square root of 3. Yeah. I see what you're saying. No, oh, sorry. It should be, so 2 divided by 2 is 1. 1 minus 2 from that, square root of 3 times. You have all the parts there. It's not falling right over. Okay, now, we are. Just show me really quick. Okay then, everyone's out of the room.
What's up, how you been? How you doing? How was your day?
I've been fantastic, Nicholas.
What's up, you two? What's this for?
This is for a class I'm taking. I have to... Anyway, I'm stopping recording now, so...
For what? Why? Record us?
Because I have to teach you now.
Record us?
No, I only have to record one class.
Is that pre-cal?
Huh? It was pre-calc. I don't teach calc until next year.
See how